At Simulate Corporation, we have a huge number of users modelling conveyor-based systems, and we have a particularly large number of users in manufacturing areas such as automotive and food and drink. Now, conveyors have always been in Simulate, real quick and easy to use, but for the 2016 release, we've taken on board lots and lots of great feedback from our users on how to add a real new dimension of flexibility and functionality for conveyors in the software.
So with Simulate 2016, we've added new parameters to the conveyor object. These parameters will allow you to quickly turn these conveyors into power and free conveyors. And you will visibly see these on the screen as hooks will appear on the conveyor. And you will also get new parameters such as the distance between work items on the conveyor and the attachment points to where the work items are traveling on these hooks. So this adds a new level of realism to your simulations if you have these sort of systems, in your industry. We've also added some new options to your conveyors, such as selecting and moving them. So it's now even easier to do that to build up your simulations, and a new snap to angle feature for your conveyors. So if you're overlaying conveyors on something like a CAD drawing or a plant layout, you can now easily do that and make something that is familiar and recognizable to stakeholders. So we are really excited about these features, and we're looking forward to showing you the new 2016 conveyors.
Working closely with our users, extra functionality has been created to model flexible manufacturing systems. Additional functionality now includes conveyors with fixtures, fixed carriages, and conveyor dogs. Together, this makes it easier to model the recirculation of parts, balance the lines, and provide maximum material flow. Let's set up a new power and free type conveyor. We start in the normal way by accessing the Advanced Building Blocks Components palette. We select a conveyor and then place the location for the end of the conveyor on screen using our cursor. Then, we drag on the placing handle to position the start of the conveyor. Next, we link the conveyor to the adjacent objects to allow items to flow. Now if we select the new conveyor, we can set the speed in the Properties tab of the ribbon. On the Additional tab, we find the new options for setting a fixed pitch or power and free conveyor. Clicking this tick box will activate this mode, and we can then set the distance between dogs by altering the dog pitch value. Let's see how the simulation looks if we allow 8 feet between the dogs. This leaves a good amount of space between items and provides enough dogs to maintain the current flow rate. If we change the dog pitch to a higher value, say 20 feet, we can see that the dogs become more spaced out, and we will therefore be picking up incoming items less often. When we run in this mode, we can see that this is causing bottlenecking to occur. If we now do the opposite and decrease the dog pitch to a lower value like 2, we should see that more dogs are represented, and that the gap between the dogs is much smaller. However, now when we run the simulation, the items are not using every available dog. The simulation is taking account of the length or footprint of each individual work item. Therefore, a new item can only enter the conveyor when there is sufficient space for it to enter, and when a corresponding dog appears. Here we can change the item length from using a controlled label action such as this. By setting a smaller length, we can see that the capacity of the conveyor increases and more dogs are being used. Now, by resetting to the original dog pitch value of 8 feet, this forces the work items to spread out again across the conveyor. Modeling these interactions between individual item lengths and the spacing between dogs opens up a range of exciting options and greater flexibility and accuracy in the simulation of different conveyor systems.